Yo, what's going on everybody? It's DJ Racha. Welcome. This week I'm doing a review of AB Soul's latest album, These Days. If you're familiar with AB Soul, his last studio album release was Control System 2 years ago. Also, if you're familiar with AB Soul, you know he's part of TDE, which features also Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q, J-Rock, SZA, and Isaiah Rashid as well, their newest member. Also, just FYI, all the beats that you're listening to in the background are also produced by me. Check in the links below. Right now you're actually hearing a World Cup remix that I did a couple of days ago. This album starts off, if you didn't know, AB Soul is definitely have a West Coast vibe to him, somewhat of a resemblance to his flow as Eazy-E, but it comes off as a real epic beginning as well with SZA. The feature talking about God's reign, talking about how he comes up in life. It also kind of gives a lonely feel to it, that the rise has not been necessarily the most social feel, but a real cool track. Throughout this entire album, you see that AB Soul is really on point. His analogies are excellent, his metaphors are top notch, and you can't find a better track as in the next one, The Tree of Life. Tree of Life, he gives the analogy of the tree of life. The purpose of life is money, where money doesn't grow on trees, but you always have to go out for the hustle for it. Real cool. If you're looking from just the surface, it has a great flow to it, but like I said, the analogies that he has in this album are amazing. Whether you're talking about just metaphors here and there or entire analogy that he brings within the track, it really makes you think. It gives you not only just a one-time listen, but your fourth, your fifth, your sixth, your time through, still continue to learn his ideas. And that's why I'm a real big fan of this. This is actually definitely one of my favorite albums of the year, where he gives a great in-depth throughout the entire album. Also, the flow is amazing as well. Next following track, it was Schoolboy Q, the 100 Stacks, talking about they're stacking their money, how they're about their bosses, talking about life that they're at right now. One of my personal favorites is World Runners with Lupe Fiasco and Nicki Jean. This is where they really talk about daydreamers, how daydreamers really run the world, because they're the ones who actually think about what they're going to do and they actually do it. They're creative. They go out and get what they want. From the beats, you know instantly it's going to be a head knocker. Also very introspective. Great analogies. Lupe Fiasco is a very strong feature as well. Then you go down to Never Mind That. You have the Rick Ross feature, which to me, it's definitely a solid track. It's not my favorite, but I'll be honest if I say I am the biggest Rick Ross fan. What it goes from after that is a little differential, more towards the club track of the album, which is Twacked. Definitely gives a more of like a DJ Mustard type of feel. You're looking like a Tyga type of beats, where they talk about how fucked up they are, how twacked they are. But it feels in that genre. If you're a DJ, I would definitely recommend get twacked at the clubs. If you're looking for something, get it fresh, get it wild before everybody else does. You also have features with Kendrick Lamar on Kendrick Lamar's Interlude, where Kendrick Lamar talks about how TDE deserves to be where they are. It was a big hustle where they had to go, and he also really gives it in a really angry and a raspy voice for a real jazzy track. For me, it's not a straight up Kendrick Lamar track or AB Soul track, but it's really showing their creativity, their versatility. The cool thing is, it's right at that edge of creativity, where it's still a very enjoyable track, but you respect them for going the outer limits, where they test about being the artist that they are, and that is one of the ones I truly enjoy that they put in there as well. Throughout the album, like I said, it's a very cohesive project. It definitely feels like a West Coast album, and you also have strong features outside TDE. They do feature everyone except for Isaiah Rashid. You have Action Bronson, you have Danny Brown, who we saw on the last album as well, when Terrorist Threats, one of my personal favorite tracks. Actually, it is my favorite track off the last album. You also, like I said, have Rick Ross, you have Lupe Fiasco. You also have features from J. Cole, which is on Saposexual. Actually has a more of like a Bollywood feel to it. You also have production with Larry Fisherman, aka Mac Miller. Didn't know also this album was produced within Mac Miller's studio as well, so not a surprise at all. Weird thing is, like I said, it's a very cohesive album, but for the producers, there's not one producer crazy thing is, there's not one producer, with the exception of Tay Beast, featured twice in here. So you can definitely tell that AB Soul really went out to make this album. If you didn't know, he released 2 albums, or he gave 2 albums to the label last year in late 2013. So what I see this is as, like I said, it's a very solid album. There's some amazing metaphors, some amazing analogies throughout the tracks, but AB Soul has so many tracks that, like I said, there's a very cohesive feel to the entire album. The strange thing is, the exception of Tay Beast, there's no producer that's actually featured twice within this album, which credits to AB Soul for really reaching out there for new sounds, but able to rein it all in, get everything to sound on point, to sound like it was made. Throughout the entire album, you get stories of AB Soul talking about how his grind, how he's worked so hard to become where he is, how it's almost been depressing at times, but then at the same time, tracks like Just Have Fun talk about it's cool. Sometimes you gotta unwind, sometimes you do gotta get fucked up. Just enjoy yourself. Same time, there's tracks like Feeling Us with J-Rock, which personally is my favorite feature. Talk about how their fans are feeling them, how they're just like their fans, how they relate so well with them. And then there's tracks like Feeling Us with J-Rock, which is actually my favorite feature on the album. And here they talk about how their fans are feeling them and how they're feeling their fans as well. How they're just like J-Rock talks about, he was very antisocial until he picked up the mic and he really started to intertwine with his fans, and then now how they're feeling each other. Real cool stuff. I'm very, very excited about AB Soul. I said this is one of my favorite albums of the year. Honestly, I give it about a 9. Not tired of this all. After 6 or 7 listens, I'm still deep into it. I would put this right up there with anything between like Mayday, with Freddie Gibbs. I said this is one of my favorite albums of the year. I would give it, out of a 10, I would give it a 9. A strong 9. I can guarantee you this is going to be in rotation for the next 6 months easily. My favorite album from TDE, the exception of Kendrick Lamar's latest release in the past 2 years. Say it's even higher on the notch. The Control System. AB Soul really takes his lyricism to the next level, where he provides you depth of analogies, and he builds it within the whole track, help you better understand his viewpoints. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Write in the comments below. Also, check out the links below. You can be able to check out the tracks that were featured on this as well, produced by yours truly. Also, be sure to check out the rest of the blog on djracha.com. Thank you guys. Have a great week. Peace.